I call this one Demon Night.
Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews.
I would take Elvira over the Crypt Keeper.
And I'm Gary, and today we're going to review and discuss Tales from the Crypt Demon Night, which released in 1995, written by Ethan Rife, Cyrus Voris and Mark Bishop, and directed by Ernest Dickerson. Ian, why don't you give us the synopsis?
Well, the story for Demon Night is pretty much just an elongated Tales from the Crypt episode. We follow William Sadler playing Frank Breaker, who is trying to stay one step ahead of the Collector, played by Billy Zane. The Collector wants a special key off of Breaker, which supposedly contains the blood of Christ. As the Collector uses his powers and the demons of hell to try to take the key from Breaker, Breaker is surrounded by some innocents. Who will be left to help him, and will the key stay out the hands of the evil Billy?
Hey, anybody home? Come on out, everybody! It's time to play! Hello!
So, Tales from the Crypt ran from 1989 into 1996.
Wow.
Had a pretty successful several seasons run, but as they were getting to the latter end of the seasons, they had been greenlit to do 3 feature-length films, and this was the first one of that trilogy of films.
Yeah.
The other 2, not really regarded in, were much high regard at all.
No.
Bordello of Blood.
Ugh.
And Ritual. We even had Tim Curry in it, but even he couldn't save that
No.
stinker of a film.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, they had other ideas as to what would potentially be the first Tales from the Crypt film. Even The Frighteners and Tarantino's From Dusk Till Dawn were potentials to be the first Tales from the Crypt movie, but those required much higher budgets, and they walked away from this kind of deal.
Yeah.
But interestingly as well, the script that they did settle on, out of all the scripts they had potential of, was written several years before Tales from the Crypt had even become a TV show. And the writers of that script had shipped it around to most of Hollywood, and they'd all said no. Eventually, Tom Holland of Fright Night and Child's Play fame agreed to make the film, but eventually he backed out. And then Mary Lambert of Pet Sematary 2 fame tried to get to make this film, but that also didn't go ahead.
Yeah.
Then Charles Band and Full Moon Productions had the next refusal, and they also turned down Demon Night.
Wow, they turned it down?
They turned down Demon Night.
Wow.
And then eventually Joel Silver, who was a producer on Tales from the Crypt, the TV show, went, wait a minute, we'll take that. That will now be our first feature in the Tales from the Crypt trilogy. And then, as they were shooting the film, they went a little bit over budget and went a little bit over time, and they were trying to get it ready for an October release, and unfortunately, or fortunately, this film got dumped in January. Which, as most of us know, are where Hollywood dumps their films when they've got no faith in their success whatsoever.
Yeah.
The film had a budget of about $13 million, but made over $20 million in the box office, and, well, I guess was a big middle finger to the studio execs. They had no faith in the film. But at least it dumping in January, it did at least follow, like, one horror rule, as it released on a January Friday the 13th in 1995.
Yeah, I remember this coming out and being in the video store when I went there, and I thought, oh, that looks cool. I've always liked catching late night episodes of Tales from the Crypt, you know, on the graveyard shift of TV time. Every now and again you're flicking through the channel and you just happen to come across this weird episode. Sometimes it was Tales from the Unexpected. That's how old I am, that TV series. And when they even made Tales from the Crypt into an animated TV series as well, I tried to capture that, but it wasn't the same, you know, because it was really made for kids, where this one, you know, there was some kind of adult appeal there. And then you sit down and you watch the film after, what, fucking 25, 30 years since the last time you watch it, and you realize, yes, this is just one really long episode of Tales from the Crypt. You get your intro. You know, the music plays, the camera rolls, you're running up the steps towards the house, the lightning's going, you're heading down into the basement. You've been here, you know what's going to happen. That model's going to come shooting out of the coffin and do his laugh in front of your face. And you're like, yes!
I'm in. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And the film has a really strong opening because, well, we've got, well, gratuitous nudity, blonde lady in the bathtub.
Yeah.
We've got a deranged monster with an axe coming up the stairs who's just emerged out of this bloodbath. And then the fourth wall breaks as the Crypt Keeper yells, "Cut!"
Yeah. He's there directing his own film, which I was just like, man, then we didn't need the intro. You know, that could have been a cool twist, but then you try and remind yourself that this would have been shown maybe on TV after its cinema release and its VHS release, but by that point, people had stopped watching it. And so the Crypt Keeper is telling you about this new film that he's made, Demon Knight, and we're straight into it.
Yeah. It's great. Such a great start. And then, man, 90s horror soundtracks.
Oh, fucking yes. This song is great.
Yeah, as we've got Bill Sadler just driving at full speed down this motorway. We got this dodgy sign to Wormwood, which is a Book of Revelations, end of the world kind of nod. And he's being chased by Billy Zane, who is full beam headlights in hot pursuit.
Now, I always feel kind of bad for Billy Zane. Like, he's a crazy off-the-wall actor.
Yeah.
And he's done some memorable parts.
Yes.
But he's never really hit the heights.
It's a real damn shame.
Like, you look at Titanic and how he is in that, you're like, wow. But he is playing second fiddle to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Well, yeah, and apparently, I don't know if this is true. Somebody needs to ask James Cameron, but apparently the rumor is that James Cameron watched The Demon Knight and then went, Billy Zane is who I need to play the villain in Titanic.
That's cool. That's cool as fuck.
So,
I mean, I've always been a bit of a fan of The Phantom.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
But in this, he gets to really shine, but he's still hiding at the beginning because we watch William Sadler kind of pull up to like a diner and he's trying all the different car handles because he's trying to find another vehicle so that he can get out. Because they'd had the crash, hadn't they? And the police turn up at the car crash and Billy Zane's just walking around in his duster, in his hat, you know. The fire is no bother to him, so you immediately just get the feeling that like there's something evil about him.
Yeah, but it's also the comedy stuff. He's like, oh yeah, airbags, wonderful invention. It's just like completely unscathed from this crash. But yeah, he's after William Sadler, and his charisma, he just convinces the cops to like, we need to go into town and get this man. He stole something from me.
All right, look, officers. The man I'm chasing now, he's dangerous. If he's in your town, you got a problem. Now, we stand here arguing about a traffic accident. Do you mind? Something awful's about to go down over there.
But they head to this halfway house because there's this abandoned church which has been turned into a halfway house for people to stay in, and it's run by the legendary CCH Pounder playing Irene. I mean, you know, this woman had great roles in, you know, RoboCop 3, and End of Days. And, I mean, she's just got that recognisable face and that recognisable voice. And there's just a whole host of plethora of different characters here that would go on to do great things. I mean, we've got Thomas Hayden Church, who plays Roach. That's the Sandman from fucking Spider-Man 3.
Right? We've got Dick Miller.
Dick Miller.
Legend.
Yeah.
He's sharing a drink with Bill right at the start.
And they all converge on this house, and the collector turns up with the police officers, and he's telling them, look, that guy over there, you know, he's got something of mine, he's a thief, we need to take it. And once they get hold of William Sadler and they bring out the key, that's when, like, the real mystery starts to really come about, because you can see something red and kind of liquidy inside the key.
Yeah, I thought that little prop was actually really cool looking, because we also had like the weird thing where he had the stars on the palm of his hand that were moving around, so like the stars literally need to align for a purpose we don't know yet. Like the film drip feeds the information in as we go, but it is a really good prop. Also the house, when we see it from outside, I was looking at it, I was like, is this been composited in? Because like I'm seeing a visual disconnect, and that was actually the second time really early on in the film, because at the beginning when the Crypt Keeper is in his director role and he's walking towards the camera, I was just like, oh, this looks, something is horribly wrong. For one, the Crypt Keeper is walking. You didn't really see that. But so the way they did it is they got the actor in the suit and he's wearing like a green screen like mask.
Right.
And so then they composited the animatronic Crypt Keeper's head onto the person who's walking towards it. So I was like, that's why it's been badly composited on. I say badly, it's not atrocious, but it's so noticeable that you're just like, oh, it's fake.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't
so fake.
fit right. But it's the Crypt Keeper, so his natural charismatic kind of like presenter, like himself, you're totally fine with it, but you're still like, that was weird. And then seeing the house, you're just like, the compositing's not right.
Yeah.
But I also love that they filmed the entire thing inside an aircraft hangar.
Oh.
So they built the house, they built all the interiors inside, and because the whole film takes place over one night,
Yeah.
filming it inside a hangar meant they had complete control over the lighting.
Nice.
And you'll notice there's lots of blue lighting, and so it also gives it that kind of comic book look and vibe as well.
Yeah, I do love that idea, actually, you know, because the night shots go on for so well that they're not really broken. And I always believed that they were outside, but now obviously inside a hangar, you can obviously keep all the lighting to a certain level until you have to shine certain moments, particularly when you have Billy Zane doing his convincing or his like evil demon stuff. I mean, we've got a couple of ladies inside the building with Bill Sadler. You've got Jerry Lynn, played by Jada Pinkett, who's kind of like a housemaid working for Irene. And then you've got Brenda Backey, who plays Cordelia. She's like... She is a prostitute. She is a prostitute. She's just living there, kind of selling herself to Roach and this other guy, Wally.
Well, she's befriended Wally, but Wally is obviously in love with her.
Yeah.
And she feels sorry for Wally because he's been fired by the postal office or been let go in a horrible way. And then she's talking to Irene just like, oh, maybe I should give him a freebie. And she's just like, yeah, that's all he needs is somebody else screwing him over.
Yeah. But like I said, Billy Zane's come in with the cops and they go to get the key from Breaker, but they won't give it to Billy Zane. And so Billy Zane's just like, nope, the show's, you know, I've got to reveal myself now. And he turns around and he punches the sheriff right through the face.
Give me the keys.
Damn, that was so good.
Yeah.
Is the way the chugs fly out of the back of the head as the fist comes flying through? I was like, that's a great prop.
Yeah, he's just absolutely obliterated this guy's face. And that was one of the coolest things about this movie, because obviously Tales from the Crypt was always about a mysterious kind of motive behind the main character, and then they'll have a moral lesson coming up. But the gore level was always like non-existent. Now we've just had a guy have his face absolutely caved in by Billy Zane, who's kind of shaking the head off of his arm.
It kind of gets stuck because he has to force and pry his hand back out. And then he's just like, he just chucks the head to the other cop.
Yeah.
Heads up.
And then Frank manages to get himself free and pulls out a gun and starts shooting at the collector, and he manages to escape outside. But
he jumps through the window.
Billy Zane's got a little trick up his sleeve where he gets some of his own blood and pours it on the ground and releases his own kind of horde of demons.
Jason the Argonaut style. Yeah, the rise of the demons.
Yeah. I always loved
they're
them.
slimy.
Yeah,
I mean, they used, what do you call it, night sticks, glow sticks, party sticks
nice.
for all of the blood because, well, it had this particular luminescence that looked really good on camera. And I was just like, he's got predator blood.
But they've also got those green eyes as well, which really stand out. And we then notice with Frank that when he pours the blood from the key onto like open windows and doorways, it creates like a kind of protective shield. Which I was like, man, that's such a cool fucking idea.
Yeah. It stops the demons from getting in. Now, apparently, when they started shooting the film, the studio turned up and was like, actually, we're cutting your budget, so that means no demons in your demon film. And so what they were going to go with was basically his demons would just be like Bible salesmen. They'd be in suits, but they'd have fiery eyes underneath their sunglasses.
Yeah.
And then somebody with a modicum of intelligence went, we're making a demon movie. Give us the money. We need demons. So thank God somebody listened, and we now have our demons.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
And it's slowly revealed to us through kind of flashbacks through Frank's character that he has been around for like hundreds of years, but this key has been around since the death of Jesus when he was put up on the cross. And so the blood of Jesus has gone into the key, and the key is supposed to be kept away from the demons because if they get hold of it, they will obviously unleash.
I think this is
monsters.
like the 7th key, and the demons already have the others.
Yeah. And William Sadler's character was in World War One or World War Two, and he was fighting demons who were obviously dressed in German uniforms, and he's like the last in this line for this moment, because the guy he got the key from died, put his blood into the key, and then William Sadler's obviously stayed ahead. So we also learned that the stars on his hand are part of the key as well, and as they line up, that means he's got to find the next person to take the key from him. But the way that the demons start to slowly take everybody out, I just think is absolutely brilliant, because Irene, Frank, and some of the other characters go down into the basement because they're looking for maybe a way out. There might be some tunnels that they hear about. And you've got Roach, played by the Sandman, who's just being an absolute asshole to everybody. He's even, wanting to take the key from Frank. And he beats up Cordelia.
Yeah.
Now, Brenda Backey, she's not the greatest actress in the world, but she does do emotion quite well. I always liked her in Hot Shots Part 2.
Nice, yeah.
A little beauty mark that she has. And she's upset and she's looking out the window. So you get Billy Zane kind of talking to her, but not moving his lips. So it's all in her mind.
Yeah.
And he's brushing the tears away from her eyes, and he's telling her how beautiful she is. And all she has to do is let him inside, and he can make all the pain go away. And you fucking believe it.
Yeah, because it's Billy Zane. He's being really charismatic and very seductive. But sadly, Wally gets called upstairs to spend time with his beloved Cordelia.
Yeah.
And, well, she eats him.
Yeah.
Now, everyone's running upstairs and the door is, like, banging like crazy. But when they open the door, like, they're on the bed.
They're on the bed.
I was like, who was banging the door? Demons?
Fear tactic,
Oh,
demons.
right, yeah.
And then she starts to mutate as well, doesn't she? And, they've got to fight her off of the body, and she ends up ripping off Wally's head. So he's obviously out of the picture. And then she manages to get the key, but they shoot her in the back of the head, I believe, don't they? And pop her eyeballs out.
Yeah. And then blast the eyeballs too. But while they were also down in the basement looking for another way out, they found the sole survivor from the diner from the beginning of the film. Because when Breaker was trying to hotwire a car, a kid caught him and went running to his dad, and it was his parents that have now attacked them in the basement.
Yeah.
So they've rescued the kid, and the kid's alive, and he just sits in the background reading, Tales from the Crypt comics until his final scenes.
Yeah.
But then it's also Dick Miller who is next in line to be seduced by the demons, and he gets teleported into a world of topless ladies delivering and serving drinks.
Well, that's it, because he'd found the explosive vest up the stairs that Wally the postman, who had said he hadn't been stealing the letters but secretly had been stealing the letters, was planning on walking into his building with a bomb vest and machine guns.
It's a play on going postal, which is a 80s, 90s American thing.
But when Wally had been killed by Cordelia had also ripped off Irene's arm, which I thought was a cool effect. So now Irene has found Wally drinking the alcohol in the attic with this vest, kicks him out of the attic, and that makes him go into the room with the naked ladies. Yeah. So he's just filling himself up with alcohol. And the fact when he's not fully turned demon, it's just Dick Miller, but just acting crazy demon Dick Miller.
Apparently, Dick Miller had some issues filming this sequence.
Oh, right.
Well, I mean, his attention was elsewhere. And apparently, I got a feeling he did this on purpose. Apparently, they had to film these takes up to 17 times.
Oh, really?
Because Dick Miller was too distracted by, lots of naked ladies.
Naked ladies, yeah.
But I have to say, Billy Zane is also stealing this up as the bartender with the shades on and his cigar. And he's presenting different drinks. But it's also the sequence earlier when he first gets kicked outside. He's like, I'm done with this shit. And he throws his cowboy hat and his jacket.
Fuck this cowboy shit! You fucking ho-dunk, po-dunk, well then there, motherfuckers! All you have to do is give me the goddamn key!
Oh, man, he literally just steals every scene he's in.
It's the sequence where he talks to Irene and he comes up through the hatch.
Yeah, with her arm on a platter.
On her arm on a platter. He's like, I can fix that arm for you. And she just tells him to get lost, and then he just disappears back out again. But Roach has done a bit of a swapsy while everybody was distracted fighting Dick Miller, and has taken the key to Billy Zane. And I always love that shot of Billy Zane where he opens his mouth and the sponge kind of just comes out.
Yeah.
Because I just love the idea that Billy Zane had put a sponge into his mouth, walked up onto the set, and then opened his mouth for it to pop out. That's commitment to your character.
That was an improvised moment where Billy Zane told the director that's what he wants to do, and Ernest was like, yeah, absolutely, we'll do that. And so the prop team were like, fuck, everybody scramble, find a sponge. But when they got it works. But it's not just the sponge coming out, it's his eyebrows blinking, that expression. And Billy Zane said that his inspiration for what he's doing here is Robin Williams' genie from Aladdin.
Oh, nice.
But as if it had come from hell.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he convinces Roach to use the sponge to wipe away the blood shield that's been blocking them, and then he takes the key, puts it into the suitcase. And
I got a issue here with the continuity of the film, or the rules of the film not being like completely concrete. But early in the film, when Billy Zane has the case and he wants the key put in it, he's like, actually empty the blood first. It needs to be emptied.
Yeah.
And then every time after that, he's just like, yeah, just put it in there.
I think for me, I just see him as wanting that key as quickly as possible. So let's just get it out. And I mean, once it's out of the picture, they can't use it to defeat him. But he allows Roach to get away just down the stairs. And then he's like, I lied, and allows the demons to rip him apart.
Fountains of blood.
Yeah. So you're left with William Sadler's character, fucking Jada Pinkett's Jerry Lynn character. Irene and the deputy use a grenade vest.
Yeah, they're going out Vasquez, Gordon style. Except our final line is just not that convincing.
No.
Supper time is like, oh.
Supper time.
And they've got the little kid left over as well. And so they've all kind of had their moments with Billy Zane, but it turns out that because Jerry Lynn was seduced by him but managed to turn away right at the last moment, she's the last kind of hero that Frank's been looking for. And unfortunately, the kid turns into a really terrible looking mutant monster thing.
I thought it was fantastic. The way his face broke loose, so it's kind of like a like the Thing transformation.
Yeah.
I'm like, we don't quite know what he's becoming.
Yeah, but that's it. I'm like, I wanted it to have some kind of cool form, like maybe his arms and legs extend out and he just becomes like a big demon
But
version.
he gets blasted out the window and then explodes before he gets a full transformation.
That's it, because she uses the last of the blood on the window to protect it, and then kicks him through the window so he absolutely explodes through the shield. And then they're using the blood from a critically wounded Frank to try to fill up the bottle, but Billy Zane comes up to confront her, and she's covered herself with the blood.
Yes, yeah, because then he can't really connect with her.
Yeah.
So then again, it's like he wraps around in a shower curtain. It's curtains for you. Like, it's all the puns that you'd imagine are in this film. They're great. But then he manages then to wash her off very quickly.
Yeah.
But then he's then one last attempt to convince her to join the dark side. He's like, I've never managed to convince a demon knight to join the other team before.
Yeah. And she's managed to swallow some of the blood into her mouth. And you just watch Jada Pinkett kind of get danced and thrown all over the place while she's desperately trying to hold this blood in her mouth. And then she finally spits it into his face, and it's critical damage to him.
Yeah. The whole bloody place explodes.
The whole place explodes.
Yeah. I was just like, it's a bit I mean, the explosion's great, but it's like, how did you defeat the boss? I spat blood in his face. Oh, that all?
The blood of Christ?
Well, I mean, I don't know if there's much blood of Christ left in the thing, considering how many people it's gone through over the years.
I mean, dude, it's the blood of Christ.
Yeah, but it's also been refilled with the blood of every demon knight.
Which would be endued by the blood of Christ that's in there.
Sure.
And it's a magical key.
Sure.
Like...
there is a line earlier where I think it's Jada Pinkett spits over the balcony to the demons down there.
Yeah.
And Breaker's just like, oh, they don't like that.
Yeah.
And then it's her spitting in the demon's face that is the actual ending of the film. Well, near the ending. But...
Yeah. But she manages to get herself together. She even saves her cat.
Yeah.
The cat's managed to survive all the way through the movie. And Jada takes herself to the bus, climbs onto the bus, pours a little bit of blood onto the doorway. And then you get that cool moment where the bus carries on for a little bit, stops. and there's a strange man with a suitcase just looking at the bus and thinking, no, I'll wait for the next one.
Yeah. And he starts whistling the theme tune as he's walking behind the bus. I was like, oh, okay, that's great. So a new collector is already in hot pursuit of the demon knight, of the protector of the blood of Christ.
Yeah.
The last seal needed for the demons to run havoc on the world. And yeah, and there's no sequel.
No.
So, no.
But we do get the Crypt Keeper getting to his premiere.
Yeah.
And they take him up and they put him into a guillotine and they chop his head off.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Much to the Crypt Keeper's amusement. So yeah, they leave the film laughing as the credits roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ian, what were your favourite scenes?
Oh man, like all of the stuff with the Crypt Keeper is just well worth it. Like it's just so fun to hear that guy's voice and the eye movement of the, it's a puppet and it's so silly and goofy and like the skin's peeled away, but it just also looks so alive and real when he's just talking to you about this film that you're about to sit down and watch. I mean, the story itself is really brief and quick, but once all the demon stuff starts to kick off, Billy Zane is great. The monster effects I really like, that when people are getting like killed off, like Paul Wally, and Dick Miller being turned by all those naked ladies and the alcohol. Like, it's well up there. CCH Pounder getting our arm ripped off. I think that's just a great effect. Jada Pinkett, she's serviceable for the role that she's done in this. But like Gary said, I wish there'd just been a sequel with more demons and more blood and all that crazy shit.
Yeah, there are so many wonderful, fantastic, memorable moments in the film. Number one, front and center, is Billy Zane. The speech he does when he throws himself out the window and turns around and is outraged with them all. It's just brilliant. It just, that moment, you're in for the rest of the film.
Fuck this cowboy shit! You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfuckers!
The John Larroquette cameo. He's the guy with the axe in the beginning scene. Who's about to hurt him. That's the narrator for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films. So it's just like, oh yeah. Great cameo there. Dick Miller, love the man, rest in peace. All of his movies, every time he appears in the film, he makes those scenes so memorable. Yeah. And just the wide-eyed delight in his eyes when he's surrounded by all these beauties. Amazing. CCH Pounder, she's got some of the funniest lines in the film. I love the moment when she raises her stump. And Billy Zane's like, that's a yes then? And she's like, no, I'm giving you the middle finger. It's like, oh, damn. I love the line as well when she says, get that pussy off the table. And Cordelia jumps off like, oh. And she's like, I meant the cat. I'm like, sure you did. And then CCH Pounder's grenade death. It's like, it's brilliant. Just like the way it's slow-mo, ching, and all the grenade pins go flying.
Yeah.
It's like, that was great. I also really loved, as you said as well, the demon makeup and the effects were really good. I like the transformation stuff, the body horror of the demons coming through. I wasn't quite convinced because the demons' heads we see a lot of, but I didn't really get to see their bodies because they're in shadows. And I was like, are they naked? Are they wearing loose clothing? I was like, I couldn't quite tell because they're moving, but they weren't so much as scary or like really effective as demons, and they were only going to rip you to shreds if you were surrounded by them. Yeah, because they had trouble getting through doors and other such things, but they looked impressive. They just didn't act quite as impressive. More like a horde of zombies than gaggle of demons, really. But still, the attention to all the detail in their faces was fantastic. So also loved the gore, the blood fountains. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't lackluster. It was just right in almost every department. Tonally, conceptually, the film just all comes together really well. So yeah, there's so many memorable moments. Ian, do you recommend Tales from the Crypt Demon Night?
I do recommend this movie just for a little blast, hour and a half. Like, if you're a fan of horror, you should know Tales from the Crypt and seen a few episodes. And with that, the movie just is an episode. It's extended. It's funny. It's gory. It's got some cool character actors doing little small parts, and Billy Zane. It's Billy Zane.
Oh hell yes! I'm recommending Tales from the Crypt Demon Night, as this underrated horror comedy deserves to be seen by every horror fan. Demon Night breaks from the morality play of the television series and embraces the gore and the horror and the action and the nudity and the drama while remaining respectful and never sleazy. The casting was great here, with many great character actors like Dick Miller and CCH Pounder elevating the film with their dry wit and comedic line deliveries, but everyone gets completely overshadowed by perhaps Billy Zane's best performance of his career, if not his most memorable. It's over the top, it's campy, and it's chaotically unhinged, and then controlled and filled with malice. The creature effects and demons, the transformations and gore are all fantastic. The practical effects hold up well, while the compositing looks a bit rough. It's not too distracting due to some tight direction and the film's brisk pace. And the film looks great. It has a vibe that perfectly captures that horror comic book feel, and it's got a great soundtrack and score. So yeah, this is a true favourite. I highly recommend this. It's more than worth a watch. It's worth a watch and several re-watches. Are you ready for your Dead Time story? Thanks for watching Off the Shelf Reviews.
And a via con diablos to you too, sir. Oh, Roach, there's just one more thing I forgot to mention. I lied.